It's me, BuzzList here. Top 10 reasons why the NES was lit. What is up, bros? First up, let's talk games, baby. The world of gaming is vast and ever-expanding, but today we're diving into the golden age of retro gaming. The NES wasn't messing around. This console was a game changer, literally and figuratively. It brought the arcade experience right into our living rooms. It was like the freaking Library of Alexandria, but instead of dusty scrolls, it had sweet, sweet cartridges. Imagine rows upon rows of games, each one a portal to a different world. We're talking hundreds of games, from platformers that made you jump like a madman to RPGs that sucked you in for hours. Super Mario Bros., The Legend of Zelda, Metroid, these titles weren't just games, they were experiences that defined a generation. Donkey Kong, these weren't just games, they were legends in the making. Each jump, each barrel dodge was a step into gaming history, each one a masterpiece that pushed the boundaries of what gaming could be. The creativity and innovation were off the charts. Developers were constantly pushing the envelope, creating new genres and redefining old ones. Seriously, the NES had a game for everyone, unless you were one of those weirdos who hated fun. From action-packed adventures to mind-bending puzzles, there was something for every type of gamer. It was a time when gaming was pure, unadulterated joy, the excitement, the frustration, the triumph. It was all part of the experience. You'd spend hours trying to beat that one level, and when you finally did, it felt like conquering the world. And it wasn't just a solo activity. Families and friends would gather around the TV, controllers in hand, ready to take on the next challenge together. It was a bonding experience like no other. The NES library was vast and varied. From iconic franchises to hidden gems, there was always something new to discover. Each game had its own unique charm and challenge. Magazines and word of mouth were our guides. We'd eagerly read reviews and swapped tips with friends, always on the lookout for the next great game to add to our collection. So many games, so little time. The NES era was a magical time for gaming, a period of endless possibilities and unforgettable memories. It laid the foundation for the gaming industry as we know it today. And even now, decades later, those games still hold a special place in our hearts. They remind us of a simpler time, when all we needed was a controller and a bit of imagination to embark on epic adventures. So, here's to the NES and the countless hours of joy it brought us. Game on! Okay, so maybe the graphics weren't exactly 4K Ultra HD, but back in the day, the NES was a visual revelation. Compared to the pixelated blobs of the Atari, the NES was like stepping into a freaking cartoon. Suddenly, Mario wasn't just a bunch of squares. He was a plumber with a moustache you could actually recognize. The vibrant colors and detailed sprites breathed life into these digital worlds, making them feel real. Well, as real as an 8-bit mushroom kingdom could be. Let's be real, the NES didn't just have soundtracks, it had certified bangers. I'm talking about those iconic 8-bit melodies that burrowed their way into your brain and never left. You know what I'm talking about. The Super Mario Bros. Theme, the Legend of Zelda overworld music, the Metroid title screen, pure ear candy, and don't even get me started on those sound effects. Every jump, every coin collected, every enemy vanquished was punctuated by a symphony of beeps and boops that became synonymous with gaming itself. The NES controller, a masterpiece in simplicity and ergonomics. 2 buttons, a D-pad, and the power to control entire worlds. It was so intuitive, even your grandma could figure it out, probably. This iconic design became the template for countless controllers to come, proving that sometimes less is more. Plus, let's be real, who needs a million buttons when you can conquer Bowser with just 2? It's a party and everyone's invited. Nintendo knew how to throw a party, and by party I mean a gaming revolution. They opened the floodgates to third-party developers, and boy did they deliver. Companies like Capcom, Konami and more jumped on the NES bandwagon, bringing with them a tidal wave of awesome games. Mega Man, Castlevania, Contra, the list goes on and on. This influx of creativity transformed the NES from a console into a gaming phenomenon. Remember the dark ages of gaming, where dying meant starting a game over from the beginning? Yeah, those days sucked. Thankfully, the NES ushered in the era of the save game feature. Suddenly, you could actually, save your progress. No more marathon gaming sessions just to see the ending. It was a game changer, literally. Of course, not all games had it, but hey, we can't have it all, right? The NES wasn't just about the games, it was about the experience, man. And nothing said experience like a mountain of awesome accessories. The Zapper, the Power Glove, the Robbie Robot, these weren't just peripherals, they were gateways to another dimension of gaming. Sure, some of them were a bit janky, but hey, that was part of the charm. Who could forget the frustration of trying to get the Power Glove to work? Good times, good times. Nintendo knew how to sell fun. Nintendo's marketing game was on point. They knew exactly how to tap into our childhood desires and make us beg our parents for an NES. From those epic commercials with catchy jingles to the iconic Nintendo seal of quality, they built a brand that was synonymous with fun and quality. They made gaming cool, and everyone wanted in on the action. The NES was more than a console. It was a way of life. The NES wasn't just a gaming console, it was a cultural phenomenon. It infiltrated every aspect of our lives, from the cartoons we watched to the clothes we wore. Suddenly, everyone wanted to be Mario, rescuing Princess Peach from the clutches of Bowser. The NES brought people together, sparking countless friendships and rivalries over epic gaming sessions. It was a shared experience that transcended age, gender, and even species. I'm looking at you, Donkey Kong. Families gathered around their television sets, bonding over pixelated adventures. The iconic game cartridges became prized possessions, traded and cherished. Game manuals were read like sacred texts, offering tips and secrets. Tournaments were held where the best players showcased their skills. Merchandise flooded the market, from lunchboxes to action figures. The NES even made its way into movies and TV shows, cementing its place in pop culture. Artists drew inspiration from its characters and worlds, creating fan art and comics. The music from NES games became iconic, with tunes that are still hummed today. Its influence can be seen in modern gaming, with many developers citing it as an inspiration. Community events and conventions celebrate its legacy, bringing fans together. The NES also had an educational impact, with games that taught problem-solving and creativity. Its reach was global, uniting players from different countries and cultures. For many, the NES is a source of nostalgia, a reminder of simpler times. Its legacy endures, influencing not just games, but the very way we play and connect. The NES was more than just a console. It was a revolution in entertainment and culture. The NES gone but never forgotten. The Nintendo Entertainment System, or NES, was more than just a gaming console. It was a revolution in the world of home entertainment. The NES may be long gone, but its legacy lives on. It brought families together, created unforgettable memories, and introduced us to iconic characters like Mario, Link, and Samus. It paved the way for every gaming console that came after it, setting the foundation for the gaming industry as we know it today. The NES was a trailblazer, showing the world that video games could be a mainstream form of entertainment. Setting the standard for what a home console could be, the NES introduced features that are now considered essential, such as interchangeable cartridges and a robust library of games. It was the first console to truly capture the imagination of millions. Without the NES, who knows what the gaming landscape would look like today? It saved the video game industry from the brink of collapse in the early 1980s and set the stage for the multi-billion-dollar industry we see now. It's a testament to the power of innovation, creativity, and a healthy dose of 8-bit magic. The NES showed that with the right mix of technology and creativity, the possibilities were endless. So let's raise a glass or a controller to the NES, the console that changed gaming forever. Its influence can still be felt in every pixel, every game, and every console that followed. Here's to the NES, gone but never forgotten. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your NES love. So there you have it, Bros 10 reasons why the NES was the most epic gaming console of all time. Don't forget to smash that like button if you agree and subscribe for more nostalgia-fueled content. And be sure to let me know in the comments what your favorite NES game was. Was it Super Mario Bros., The Legend of Zelda, or maybe something completely different? Let's reminisce about the good old days of 8-bit glory.